There's buyers coming in here. I still don't want to buy high. See that? Almost bought me to buy high. Got me. Yep, let's see it. I freaking get a heart attack trading this ticker. It's not worth the stress almost. Here we go. Boo! I'd be closing everything and be expecting a flush. Wow. I guess on that note. Morning traders, welcome back. So that was one heck of a disappointing open. There was really nothing worth trading. Maybe that little pop on RETO when it popped over VWAP, but really that was it. Maybe a little bit of HLBZ if I'm being generous, but that was such a flippy floppy ticker in terms of like to the top and then flushing back down and then fake outs to the downside that popped right back up and then continuing that. You never wanted to buy that ticker high. So I'm up 267, which believe it or not is actually more than yesterday, because yesterday I ended up just giving back all of my profits. Then I basically just threw in the towel. I was like, this is the worst trading I've been doing. Today I actually did pretty good trading. We just didn't have any opportunities for me to really capitalize on that. And that was kind of frustrating. So I'm ending the day up 267 as you see here. It was a little bit wishy-washy here where I did give back quite a bit, you know, profit margin below 30%. Average win, average loss here, not the best ratio either, so that's a little bit disappointing. That's mainly because I got stuck in a pretty nasty move on RETO early on, but luckily it was with small size, but still took a decent loss on that one. And you could just see overall it was a kind of a shaky day. Like I was up a little bit, and then I was down a little bit, and there's just so many trades in between. And then this actually looks like a classic stock chart where I have these little, you know, pullbacks. And, you know, rally, have a breakout pullback. This is VWAP, break above VWAP, have a pullback. Maybe we're going to see another ticker, but, you know, it's already 10:30. So I was just like, I think I got to call it here. I don't have that much time to just stare at the charts, which is, you know, for better or worse. I think it's sometimes for the best because I didn't become a trader so I could stare at my screen all day. And I think that's really important. So let's see here. RETO, HLBZ, VRNA. I think let's start with VRNA because it's actually kind of interesting. And this ticker, besides the open, which was god-awful, was okay pre-market. There was opportunities on this one, without a doubt. Daily chart, huge rally here. My jaw just got tired. I don't even know why. It's like the first time my jaw got tired. High relative volume on the day, so that's really good to see. If we go to the weekly chart, and let me just actually do that on this chart here. Let's go to the weekly. You can see this ticker has these spikes in the past, but they tend not to hold. We are over the 180 SMA, which is a really good sign on the weekly, but on the daily, we are as well. And I wanted to show you guys this because these spikes are really just one-day pops and then they drop, so that's not really a good sign. Overall, it was kind of a nice ticker in terms of, you know, like a slow, consistent grind pre-market. On the 5-minute, it looks pretty clean. You'll see here, always above that 9 EMA trend. I got some pretty okay moves, and I started sizing in pretty early on this one. I even had, you know, one trade at 900 shares, which, you know, isn't huge, but at least it's over $10,000. Another thing that you guys can see right here in the statistics that, you know, I have a few trades over 10,000, not a lot. This is a almost $13,000 trade, another 13,000 trade. I was kind of in the flow on this ticker, but it just didn't give us huge pops. And, you know, once it did pop, it usually ended up fading pretty quickly. So like, you know, huge fade here. And then we had this, you know, 13% rally. Percentage wise, not really that big. But that's pretty much where I made most of my money. I did have a few times where I just, you know, gave back profits and, you know, one step forward, one step back. It was a bit of a grinder. And then the market open was just, you know, disaster on VRNA. So that was kind of depressing. But yeah, based on what I said on the daily and how it looks, I'm not super optimistic going forward with VRNA. I wouldn't be surprised if we did not see it again tomorrow. As opposed to some of these other tickers like GOV that we just see again and again and again. I think it was GOV. Let me see here. Oh no, what am I saying? It's GOVX is what I was talking about. This ticker just like, look at the daily. It's like, it's always here at one point. And I'm excited for the day we don't see it again. You know, I'm sorry to anyone that's long GOVX, but I feel like it messes up our gappers a little bit. HLBZ, in terms of this one, I am red on it. I was able to make back some of my losses. I'm only down $80 on it. Look how many times I traded it. I originally had my quick loss right here on this pullback. That was a little bit disappointing, but this one wasn't that big of a loss. I had a small win and then a bigger loser. And then here at the open, I mean, this ticker was just all over the place. We had that nice break of VWAP and a 5-minute pullback here, but even in the 1-minute action, you'll see how shaky it was. So popped up here, traded this move, but I pretty much scratched out, plus I had 0 size. Then I've traded this one with bigger size, but it just flushed so hard, I eventually closed. And then I was like, it looks like it might double bottom here, and I traded this one, but I ended up, you know, scratching out right before the pop, so I had the right idea, wrong timing. And then just a lot of these, like, you know, just, you know, spinning the wheel kind of moves here where, you know, it's just, yeah, it was such a choppy ticker. Sorry, I'm like trying to even find words to describe this ticker, but you guys will see if you're watching the recording that it was a rough one. I had a really hard time trading it. Also the intro video, which HLBZ, you could just see me like being like no trust in that ticker. With RETO, let's see this one, I'm down 133. I'm also was able to crawl my way out of the hole a little bit. This is the one in the stats that you guys saw I had the bigger loss on, almost 6%. That's a pretty serious loss. I bought basically a little too high, ended up cutting my losses. It crawled, but I didn't cut it at the perfect low. It's just like this was like a 13% sell-off. So I bought here and I pretty much sold here. Now it crawled back up, made back a little bit here, but it wasn't that interesting. Then this ticker was basically dead. I stopped looking at it. Eventually it pops back above VWAP. I saw it too late. I missed this beautiful move here, 20% pop with actually pretty decent volume. Well, for, you know, $140 or $120 stock, maybe not so much. And I eventually, you know, traded a little bit here, made back some of my losses, and I actually did okay right here because I was able to sell right here on this pop. But this was more of a break-even trade. The real trade that made back some losses was here, but all very embarrassing, tiny size, and I unfortunately wasn't really able to size into these two. With VRNA, I did pretty good. And I think actually with these other two tickers, I managed my risk pretty good, so I'm pretty happy about it as well. I guess I'll go ahead and call it. It kind of feels like a no trade day more than anything. Maybe we'll get a later day popper. I wouldn't be surprised because that tends to be the case lately where, like, you know, 12 o'clock, 1, 2, or even power hour, we get those huge movers. I'm usually offline because I'm in Berlin, so at that time it's, you know, we're 6 hours ahead and it's a little bit late over here. I could get on, but I don't think it's for me. I'll just stick to my pre-market and market open. Eventually the momentum will be there as well, so I'm not too worried about it. Again, in the end, I'm in it for the long run. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you then first thing tomorrow morning. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.